David and Victoria Beckham have admitted their marriage came close to breaking down, with Posh saying tearfully, "We were against each other." The couple, known as Posh and Becks, spoke in depth for the first time about their previous relationship problems, and at the peak of the crisis, Beckham said it felt like they were drowning, and he confessed, "I don't know how we got through it." A new Netflix series shows newspapers on screen covering the 2004 allegations made by his former assistant Rebecca Lewis. The PA for the footballer claimed she had an affair with Beckham whilst he was playing for Real Madrid. Other women made other allegations too, all of which Beckham described as ludicrous at the time. In the documentary, director Fisher Stevens asks 48-year-old Beckham, "Multiple tabloid stories broke, and how did you deal with that?" Beckham replied, "There were some horrible stories that were difficult to deal with. It was the first time that me and Victoria had been put under that kind of pressure in our marriage." Stevens then asks former Spice Girl Victoria, 49, if that was the hardest time in their marriage. She replies, 100%. It was the hardest period for us. Because it felt like the world was against us. And here's the thing, we were against each other, if I'm being completely honest. You know, up until Madrid sometimes it felt like us against everybody else. But we were together. We were connected. We had each other. But when we were in Spain, it didn't really feel that we had each other either. And that's sad. I can't even begin to tell you how hard it was and how it affected me." Beckham added, "When I first moved to Spain it was difficult because I've been part of a club and a family for my whole career from the age of 15 to I was 27 years old. I get sold overnight. The next minute I am in a city. I don't speak the language. More importantly, I didn't have my family." The new revealing interviews are played alongside footage of the couple from April 2004 at the French ski resort of Courchevel, where they had what were described as make or break talks for their relationship at the time. Recalling that period, Beckham added, "Every time that we woke up we felt, there was something else, and I think we both felt at the time that we were, not losing each other, but drowning. There were some days that I would wake up and think, how am I going to go to work? How am I going to walk onto that training pitch? How am I going to look as if nothing's wrong? I felt physically sick every day. When I opened my eyes, how am I going to do this?" When the director asks how they survived, Beckham added, "I don't know how we got through it in all honesty. Victoria is everything to me. To see her hurt was incredibly difficult. But we are fighters. And at that time we needed to fight for each other, we needed to fight for our family. And what we had was worth fighting for. But ultimately it's our private life." The pair now have their relationship back on track and will celebrate their 25th wedding anniversary next year. Later in the documentary, Victoria says she has now made peace with some things that have happened in her life, which could be a nod to the Beckhams' marriage problems. Victoria said, "I probably didn't realize half of what I talked about until I sort of started this, what should we call it? This therapy? I feel at peace with a lot of what maybe in our first session was still a lot of pent-up anger, frustration. I understand it now." Beckham agrees and said, "It has been some form of therapy this, when I've looked back." The comments come in the fourth episode of the four-part series for Netflix, in which Beckham admits he was selfish when it came to moving to different countries to play football and further his own career, whilst Victoria tried to settle and find schools for their children to go to in Spain and Los Angeles. Even then, when they were due to head back to England to settle down, she says he pulled a David Beckham special and joined Paris Saint-Germain to continue playing for longer. Honest Victoria also says a period in Spain where the media glare was intense was the most unhappy I have ever been in my entire life. She was left angry when she was due to go to a Madrid hospital to give birth to son Cruz, and Beckham went off for a photo shoot with Beyoncé Knowles and Jennifer Lopez. Victoria said, "Someone showed me the front page of the newspaper, which was a gorgeous picture of David between Jennifer Lopez and Beyoncé, and the headline was 'What would Posh say?' Let me tell you what Posh would say." Posh was pissed off. At the end of the series, the couple are shown at home together alongside their children dancing to Kenny Rogers and Dolly Parton hit Islands in the Stream. Becoming emotional, Beckham wells up in front of his wife and said, "Going through every part of my life, it has given me clarity on many things. And one of the things, which is the most important thing to me, is what I've got." The 4-part series Beckham will launch on Netflix today.
To